Okay, so I'm Andy Fuller, and I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma January of 2013. That came as quite a shock, and unexpected, and it's been quite a journey since then. Probably the most challenging thing for me has been mental. Yeah, I went through the treatments and the surgery and let's see what else, the stem cell transplant and all of that. But I think probably the biggest challenge for me was probably mental, as far as trying to kind of reframe my life, where I was going from here, how much time do I have before the next shoe drops, etc. So a lot of it was just mental. I would say my advice would be really to stay strong. You can really get overcome just by overthinking situation, whether or not it's a short-term, really bad news, you only have months, or whether it's something like mine that's just going to live with the rest of my life. You have to kind of, like the Bible says, to take every thought into captivity, and just give it all to the Lord, and that's kind of what I've done. And because you just a lot of times you overthink it, and then I go back to what I said before, is that just being, a lot of it's, for me, it was mental. I tend to be, when the chips are down, I tend to be a loner, and so I found that Cancer Pathways kind of helped draw that out of me, with kind of getting connected to some other folks, and I really want to be around just to help me, anybody else that gets, especially multiple myeloma, just to be able to kind of walk through it with them, if they're willing, and because it's a very ugly disease, and not that common around. We're better off when somebody else has it's still their journey. Even if you've had it, it's still their journey. They have to own it. We all have to own it. And so being there, sometimes just be quiet and be there, be available, probably is does more good probably than trying to have all the answers. We don't have all the answers, and anybody who comes alongside of you trying to help, they don't have all the answers either, but we can be there for that person, and if they need help or want to talk, be there. I think that's what some of my friends did with me, was they'd say, "Hey, Andy, let's get breakfast. How you doing?" And they just let me talk. And of course, I didn't really want to eat much breakfast back then, but I sure would now.
Yeah.
Being around other people, even if they're cancer survivors from a different or whatever side of survivorship they're on, I realized that I tend to isolate myself, and although I'm an extrovert, there's certain things I just don't talk about. That's my deal. And so the guy time gets me around other guys that have, on one other side of survivorship or the other, and you get opportunity to meet guys going through different kinds of cancer, and you realize the struggle is about the same, no matter what kind of cancer you've got. I don't think I've had anybody in my group with multiple myeloma, but a lot of other cancers, and we just get together and chat, and sometimes we don't even do anything. We just spend an hour or so, talking everything from football to our jobs to our kids, and then we usually by the end of the evening, we usually end up talking a little bit about where we are in our treatment and how we're really feeling. So guy time can really just be a time for a caregiver, or maybe even we've had some guys who's lost their spouse, and they still come. They come just because they want to be around other guys that are dealing with some of the same thoughts and emotions that they're dealing with, and so it's really good, and I encourage guys to get involved. Whenever where we came from in life, or come from in life, or where we are, when we walk in that door, we're just guys on one side or the other of a cancer battle.